How to use Figma MCP with Figma variables. First, you have to enable MCP in Figma, make sure that this is checked. And second, Google for Figma MCP guide and enter this official documentation and search for step 2. Then choose the platform that you're using. In this case, I'm using Cursor, so you just need to copy this JSON and then go to Cursor. Under the cursor settings, go to the tools and integrations, and then you add the JSON here. I've already done that. So after you added that JSON, you will see this Figma 4 tools enabled in your cursor settings. And then I will recommend you quit Cursor altogether because it takes a while for the MCP tool to load. And then when you open Cursor again, if you see that this is green instead of orange, then you're good to go. Now let's create a React project in TypeScript. I would use this command npx create React app using the template TypeScript to kickstart the project. And then we paste it in the console and let it run. Now that the project is created, let's go to the project. Now, what are we missing still in the project is all of our Figma variables. We need to go to Figma and provide all of our Figma variables to our project. And the best tool to do so, in my honest opinion, is using Variable Visualizer Figma plugin. So let's go here and export and choose this export to JSON full data option. So let's save the file. And while we're at it, let's also download this Figma variables resolver.js. This file resolves your variable aliasing values to make things easier for Cursor. Now let's go back to Cursor and drag both of our downloaded files to the src folder. In Cursor, you need to make sure you're using the agentic mode, and for the LLM, you need to be using the Claude for Sonnet for the best performance, because by default, it is set to auto, and auto is using 3.5 Sonnet, even if you're paying. So manually choose the Claude for Sonnet here. The prompt that I will give it is for it to build the button first. So let's paste in the prompt. Let's go to Figma and copy the link for the button component. Right-click, copy link to selection. And back to Cursor. I will paste in the link that I just copied for this button component. And I will tell it to reference this JSON in particular. And here's the rest of the prompt. If you want to read, you can pause the video and read through what I had tell it to do. So let's send it and see how it goes. So now it has created this button component. Let's take a look. Now it has put the button that it has created into the app.tsx, which is the entrance to the web page. And it automatically starts the project. Let's take a look. So the button has 3 types, the default, the outline, and the silly red type, and they also support dark and light mode. And this is exactly how I had it designed in Figma. Let's take a look. So if I go from light to dark, the primary variant or the type goes like this, which match exactly here in code. And the outline variant of the button goes from this in light version to this in dark version. Let's check. So the outline goes from this to this. Now this is a pretty good outcome. I'd say that our button component has successfully been implemented in code. Next, I also want our MCP to implement this Textbox component as well. So copy link to the selection and back to cursor, and I will tell it to build also this Textbox component and see how it goes. So we have our Textbox component built here, and let's take a look. Notice how it is using the exact same variable binding that I have in Figma. For example, this control horizontal padding, let's check in Figma. It's also control horizontal padding, so it's using the same variable binding. Now, cursor has put the text boxes directly under the buttons, and they are even interactive, which is super cool. But looking at the design, I noticed that the default type doesn't exactly match my design. In my design, the default type should be white background. And the reason is that the fill is using button/outline/fill, which in cursor it is using button fill. MCP doesn't get everything right every single time. It's based on probability, so you have to check what variable binding it is using. So let's fix it ourselves. Now, if I put the same name as the variable that I used in Figma, they should be correct. Let's do this, and now let's check again. So they are now correct. Awesome. The final assignment that I want cursor to do is to have it replicate this entire card design that I have in Figma, which is using the text box and button component inside of it. So I've copied the link, and now let's paste it to cursor. For the best performance, let's engage in a new chat to make sure that it doesn't run out of the context window. I will prompt it like so. Here is the card that I have designed in Figma that is using the text box and the button component inside of it. Pay attention to every single design details that I have in there, especially the text. Don't get them wrong, and remove all the testing and storybook like permutations that you have there, but keep the top color mode control. And let's send it. This will let us see the true colors of MCP, what it is capable of. So let's take a look at the final result. And this is what it has built. So you can see that it doesn't exactly match my design, but it's at least having the same vibe, let's say. There are text boxes that you can input, and it's supporting the light and dark mode, which is okay. This shows you that MCP, it's able to keep your styling intact if you're using variables, but the design details, well, it's based on probability. If you have better luck than me, you may end up with a closer resemblance to your design. But it is what it is, and it's only going to get better with time. But the true power of it all is that now all of my component styling decisions come directly from the single source of truth, which is the Figma variables. Now let me show you. If I open variable visualizer and have a look at this button, What it is using as the fill color is here, and on the default type it is black. And let's change this to sort of this blue color here, and let's export this full JSON again. And once I replace it to the existing JSON, you can see that it gets updated instantaneously. I don't even need to fumble around with any code. The source changes, the result changes, that simple. There is one final touch left to do, however, to elevate the scalability of this approach to entirely another level. Now let's go back to the cursor. Let's take a look at the component that it has created. Now here's the button component. Under the interface, let's look at the properties. You can see that it has hard-coded my Figma collections and their available modes, respectively, for each of the property. The same goes for the Textbox component. And this is not really scalable, and I'm going to prompt it like so. You are hard-coding these properties and available values for each of the components that you have built, namely the button and the text box. I don't want you to do that. Why? Because my variables JSON is going to change all the time. I can have more or less collections, and each of the collection might have more or less or different modes. So I want you to, instead of hard coding it like this, I want you to have a modes property, and it accepts a object of key value pair, where the key being the collection name and the value being the mode name, and both are string type, and I can pass anything to it. So please change the button component and the text box component to the best of your ability to match my requirements. Now let's see what it does. Now that it is done most of the changes, let's take a look at the app.tsx and see what it did. Great, now it has the modes property. Let's take a look at what the mode config is. That's perfect. Left side is the collection name, right side is the mode name. And let's check if it broke anything in the process. Everything looks okay, so I will happily accept all the changes that is made. Now that our modes are dynamic, meaning that any changes that we did in Figma variables, we should be able to directly use them in code as it is. Let's add a rounded shape to our button. So let's create a shape collection. And this will have two modes. One is the default, the other is the rounded. And let's add a number variable into this shape collection. The rounded one is going to be 999, and the default, I'll just use the current control border radius value. Or I think I'll just do this in reverse, because the button is already using this control border radius variable, so that if I just continue to use it, I don't need to change anything in code. Now let's export the JSON and put it in code. Let's see if it works. I want in the app.tsx, let's have a new button. Let's duplicate this and say that this is my cancel button. And for the modes, I want to have my own modes. Let's use the shape rounded, right? And see if it works. There you go, that's my rounded button. And what about the outline type? And there it is, the outline rounded button. Take a moment and let this sink in, how powerful this is. I just added this new shape collection in Figma, and now you're able to use it in code, which works exactly the same as it is in Figma. So if I select these and say the shape rounded, and there it is, this is how it works in Figma. So let's sum it up. What are the benefits of using Figma variables compared to if you're using styles or just hard coding the raw values? Now, first it comes with the design consistency, because you have a centralized single source of truth, which is your design decisions that you have already set it up in your Figma variables. And with Figma variable comes the mode support. So you can say that with the color mode collection, I want light or dark mode to be utilized. With the shape collection, I want the rounded or default mode to be utilized. And it also comes with the seamless MCP and cursor integration. So you're not only building for humans, you're also building for machines, for AIs, to use your components more effectively. You also end up with the better maintainability, again, because you have a single source of truth. You change one place, everywhere changes. If you've made it this far, make sure to try out my new plugin Variable Visualizer. It's been Mr. Biscuit. If you want me to feel motivated sharing more contents on YouTube, please comment your thoughts down below. I would love to chat with you. That being said, have a good one. Take care. Bye-bye.